There's sort of 4 or 5 days left of the transfer window. Is there a bit of nervousness sometimes about, is the club going to go and bring someone in and get me out of the team? Am I going to have a word with my wife and my 3 children about suddenly moving from Brighton to Sunderland with 2 days' notice? What's this period like?
Look, I think in the big clubs, you're always conscious, really. I mean, you used to love when new players came in because it kept it fresh, young, hungry players. If you play in a big club, you have to expect that people come in, you have to try and keep your position, you know, and I think that's normal. I think maybe lower down in the leagues or in the table and stuff, I think maybe there's a little bit more turnover. I think in the top teams, maybe you see players, they stay at clubs for maybe a little bit longer.
If you're a player and there's massive clubs that are courting you at this stage of the season, you're sitting there like this, please get it done. But then the other players in that team are sitting there saying, please don't let him go. Do you know what I mean? There's the conversations that are then going on in the change room. Are you going or not? Do you want to go? And the player, the difficulty sometimes, you're sitting there, you don't want to give away too much because you don't want to affect your teammates. So there's a lot of different things that are going on in the change room at this point that can affect, especially the immediate part of the season.
Do you feel disloyal if you know you're lining up a move and you're just carrying on as normal to your teammates?
Look at Mahrez today, right? He wants to move desperately.
Yeah.
And he was one of their better players on the pitch. Look, I think if you want to move, that's fine. But if you're fit and healthy, step on the pitch and put in a performance. Let your agents and all those other people do that. Mahrez, you know, he deserves a bit of credit for the way he's playing for this Leicester City side, even though he wants to move.
I think it's all about conducting yourself right.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
As I said, it's different windows now, but when I left Leeds to go to Manchester United, I made it quite clear to my teammates and the manager at the time, when I knew Manchester United were in for me, that I wanted to go. And I think if you're honest, from the get-go, I think you get respect and the players appreciate that.
But you wouldn't have not played, though, would you?
No. I mean, I said to the manager, listen, I was at West Ham when I went to Leeds. Leeds came in for me and at West Ham, and I played the week before against Leeds. And I think you're in there with your teammates. These are guys that you go out on the pitch and you go to war with and you're trying to win things with. And so for you I couldn't imagine myself ever sitting there and saying to the manager, listen, the club's in for me. I'm going to down tools and not play. I can't go out there and play. I couldn't imagine doing that. I'd play to the last time, to the last whistle before I'm allowed to leave.
Meanwhile, Robbie Savage.
Well, I was a disgrace when I was at Birmingham.
What do you look back on as the worst thing that you did that almost makes you think, why did I do that?
Also advice you had around you a bit?
Of course, the advice around you, but I had my heart set and go and play for my hero, Mark Hughes, and inevitably, when you move, you know, and I'll be honest with you, I wasn't never a player who was going to earn 50, 100 grand a week. So for me, the difference between 20 and 35, for me and my family, was huge. So this might sound wrong, but in the back of my head, I'm thinking, right, opportunity. All adds up, and in the end, what I'd done wrong, you know, in training, now ball will come to me, I'd smash it out of play.
You actually did that?
Yeah, because I was playing well on the pitch. I was scoring goals. I remember at Fulham, the ball comes to me, chest it down, left foot past Van der Sar. I was playing brilliantly well, probably the best football player at Birmingham. Just signed a 4-year contract, but I wanted to go. So Brucey pulled me.
What's the reaction from the other lads when you're kicking the ball out
there? To be fair, the thing is, you think the lads in the dressing room...
They kind of understand.
Because I was a character, right? I'd go in the dressing room and I'd throw my boots down, and some would say, what are you doing? Some would laugh. They're your mates, and the type of character I was, I had good friends, and they say, what are you doing, Sav? You know, blah, blah, blah. But every time the ball comes to me, I'd smash out a play. I got sent in twice from training, inevitably got sent home from Brucey, and was just told to stay at home until the move went through. And I forced it because...
See, I can understand what you were doing, yeah, on one hand, but if I was one of your teammates, I wouldn't have had that.
But you would have, because you...
What would you have said?
I'd have done what I'd done in the tunnel to him.
What was that?
Seriously.
Can't say it on air. No. But I mean, you can understand, I wouldn't have been happy as a teammate because you're affecting my chances of winning a football match. Because you're ruining the training session that's preparing for a Saturday.
But on the Saturday, Ray, this is my point. On the Saturday, I was probably the best player. I was player of the year and I was the best player. That's why I got rewarded the 4-year contract. But on the other side...
I wouldn't have wanted you to play.
But the thing was, Ray...
It just shouldn't have been training if he was going to do it. Surely the manager's going to step in and say, Robbie, do me a favour.
He did. That's what Brucey done.
Yeah. And he's the nicest fella ever as well.
And I remember...
He took liberties.
Did you feel bad? Did you feel bad?
I remember the story. So it was all... I was getting sent off from training. So I went home and I thought, what shall I do? what should I do? I've got to put a transfer request in. So no word of a lie. I got a piece of paper out the drawer.
I wanna leave.
Dear Steve.
I've got someone to write for you.
I struggled spelling Steve on dear, but I got it right. And I wrote down, please, this is my request to leave the
did you
football
write?
club.
What did you write?
So I went, that's
Go
why
on.
dear Steve,
Yeah.
this is, please, I want to leave the football club. This is an official transfer on a piece of white A4 paper.
Best wishes, Robbie
And
Savage.
I folded it up, and I knocked on his door, and I give it him. He
At
looked
his
at me.
house?
No, in the training ground. Anyway, I've gone downstairs into the changing room. I've gone to Dwight York. I've gone, Yorkie, I don't think the gaffer was too happy. He said, go and have a word with him. You know, I think he's...
Did you expect?
Yeah, so Yorkie's come down onto the training pitch. He's looked at me, he's gone... So I'm waiting for Brucey to come out, and he's gone... home. So I got my...
Happy days,
I got
happy days.
I got moved to play for my hero.
Yeah.
I got Blackburn finished in Europe, and I got more money.
Do you regret it?
Do I regret playing for Blackburn and playing for Mac Hughes? No. Do I wish I regret kicking the ball out?
You would have done it a different way if you could do it.
Correct.
Okay. Let's finish this part with a few comments from you guys on Zlatan Ibrahimovic, although you're now mainly talking about Robbie Savage. Luke says, I think Zlatan just behind Lukaku will be like Bergkamp and Henry. It'll be frightening. Mikey, Zlatan adds title-winning experience, like Rio said, but crucially, at a time when we'll be playing twice a week, because, of course, Europe and the FA Cup and all the other things that United will be playing in. Hasnan, Zlatan is an out-and-out winner, and you need that in the dressing room. I agree with Owen. Liam says it instills confidence all around him. And finally, Henry. Zlatan brings quality and experience to the side, which will be important in our Premier League and Champions League run-ins. Thank you for all of your comments so far. Right, in the final part, we're going to talk about Wayne Rooney, memories of him playing for England, and interestingly, the general reaction of the public to his announcement that he's retiring. And why can't we celebrate people a bit more in this country? We'll talk about that after the break.